Welcome, everybody. I'm Neil Cavuto, and work with me here. I want you to think about it. Our dollar is soaring. Apple is soaring. Foreign money piling in here, all kinds of money piling into Apple. No other currency looks as attractive. No other technology company looks as promising. That's the thing about being it in the world. It is hard to say it for long. At least Apple has reason to be where it is. It makes cool stuff and all but prints money. We, by comparison, are just the tallest midget on the global stage, maybe because we actually do print money. I kid, but to make a point. Beware of stocks and countries that run up too far, too fast, and for whom perfection seems too priced in. Our dollar won't always be this strong because Europe won't always be this weak. Just like Apple won't always be firing on all cylinders. Now and then it'll misfire, at least on a couple of those cylinders. Then comes the alarm, then comes the surprise, then comes the angst, then comes the sell-off. When investors wake up to the reality that we are all human and that snapshots are always fleeting. Once snapped, shot, done. Now, I'm not saying Apple is done or that America is done, just that Apple's competitors are not done and neither are America's. Remember, it wasn't all that long ago. Samsung was eating Apple's lunch, and China was eating ours. It is good to be where we are now, but remember where we were just a little while ago. I'm not smart enough to say that this is all a mirage, any more than our markets were tanking and Apple was tanking, and all that was a mirage. I'm just pointing out that there once was a time where our markets and Apple couldn't do anything right. Now they're priced as if they can't do anything wrong. Sometimes perfection wins, but most times not before products at a company and economic numbers in a country are given time to catch up. To Lizzie McDonald and Mark Serrano on what they make of all of this. Lizzie, first off, on this idea that we're due for something.
In Apple or us?
In both.
Yeah, in both. I think you're right. And you're right to draw the analogy about Apple because, remember Tim Cook said, oh, the sky's the limit for Apple. We can go into China. The sky's the limit. He said this 4 years ago. For it to maintain its current sales pace, it will have to be selling 3 billion, I think, iPhones.
Right.
And by 2025, is that it? That's half the world's population.
But its multiple isn't out of whack.
The multiple is not out of the whack because the market is saying, yeah, it's 15 times earnings. Well, the market's saying that's run-of-the-mill. The market didn't really react to the Apple Watch. It's only going to pull in about $6 billion in sales when it has $182 billion in sales overall. So, yeah, there was a ho-hum reaction, same ho-hum reaction the market gave to the iPad in 2010.
All I'm saying is I don't know if she's right on this because she's very smart. So I have no doubt that the particulars warrant a lot of what she said. But what I worry about is most people seem to think that this is smooth sailing ahead, that we'll absorb rate hikes in this country, that we'll absorb disappointments, let's say, with the iWatch if it comes to pass Apple. Right. Be careful. That's what I'm saying.
This is a very apt comparison because these are highly watched entities, and clearly
but that's the way I roll. I do apt comparisons.
Yes. But here's where it changes. The trajectory is going to be different. So the U.S. markets are going to drop like a rock. Apple is going to drop like a helium balloon that's running out of gas. Okay, it's going to take a lot longer, I think, in their trajectory. But you're right; they can't innovate forever.
One drops like a balloon, one drops
like a rock. The other one drops like a balloon that's running out of gas. Right? Okay. So the markets are going to drop precipitously. We're 100%.
Well, what would be the prompt there? The rates going up?
Yeah. Well, yeah. When rates change. We are at 100%. The markets are 100% over their low in 2007.
But, Neil, to get the U.S. growth rate up, productivity has to be firing in all cylinders. And it's really hard to do that when you...
I used the cylinder analogy. Thank you.
You used it already? Yeah. Sorry, I stole that from you. Yeah. But to get productivity up, you need to have less of an entitlement state. You need to get more people working in better jobs.
Well, how long do you think, as a country, guys, as a country, because we benefit not so much we're on fire, but because the others suck, right? By comparison.
Right.
How long do you think that continues? Because the euro, they're waiting for parity and all that. I'm just saying I can remember when the euro was soaring and they were waiting for the death of the dollar.
Right. Now the euro and the dollar are at parity for the first time in about 12 years. Well, here's the other difference is innovation, okay? Apple can continue to innovate. Steve Jobs said the most successful companies are the ones that continue to reinvent themselves. Tim Cook has reinvented them with the iWatch, and they're going to be able to count on big growth sales in a few years.
So you like
the U.S. doesn't innovate.
Yeah.
They don't. In fact, we've got stale, old policies of tax and regulate and spend, and it's going to be 2 years before that changes in any significant way.
I think the U.S. does innovate. I think it doesn't. It needs a manufacturing base, which we really don't have, which are high-paying jobs.
I mean,
right?
government
Yeah,
doesn't.
all those,
I mean,
you think of
government
those
policy
iWatches
doesn't
and
innovate.
iPhones, where are they all manufactured?
Overseas. Again, the Apple iWatch is only going to bring in, at the best estimate, $6 billion in sales, and Apple has $182 billion in
See
sales.
what I mean? But you said only $6 billion in sales. Any other company that could even get a fraction of that would be a rock star.
Well, you're
we
absolutely right
factored
about
that in,
Yeah,
right?
you're right.
Right.
Apple right now.
But it's a good point, but
Apple right
see what I
now
mean?
is worth more than the entire Russian stock market combined. I mean, so has
It deserves to be.
Has it hit the law of large numbers? I think so.
And Apple has never murdered anyone.
The U.S. government wishes it had 128 billion cash on hand, like Apple
But see,
does.
she raises a very good point that we're disappointed with only $6 billion. We're disappointed they only sell 10 million.
Okay, but wait a minute. Why aren't we looking at the U.S. government that way?
Why are you pointing at me?
Well, because I'm getting intense about this. Why? Because of the government and Obama's policies, I'm getting very intense.
Very good.
Why don't we expect more out of this economy? Why aren't we looking
Well,
for
I do.
7.5% growth like we had back in the 1980s? That's what we should expect. Just like Apple, we have high expectations. We should have equally high expectations of the U.S.
You were
government
right,
and
but
this
we
economy.
don't. But something's going to happen with all of this.
Were
All
you
right,
raised by Catholic nuns, by the way? Because you have high expectations.
Yes.
I know Neil was.
And he also points
Yes.
finger to use the yardstick last time. Mr. Cavuto, shut up.